Hi, good morning. My name is Jennifer Mabry, and I am the Business Operations Manager here at PREDL Inc. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us today as we discuss PREDL's innovative PMA manhole system. During this webinar, we will review issues with current lining technology, how PREDL is engineering the underground, benefits of the PMA manhole system, followed by the elements that make up that system, and we'll end with a case study and a brief question and answer. I encourage you to type in your questions throughout the presentation. So let's get started. Current issues with concrete protection and manhole lining technologies include a lack of flexible joint sealing mechanisms. This results in a dependence on field welding and on-site use of butyl, neither of which are the best options. Furthermore, there are no load transfer abilities or mechanisms, and this increases the risk of cracks forming in the manhole. We also have issues with poor corrosion resistance in a number of the currently available products. And another issue is that often poor precast forms and the difficulty precasters may experience forming the joint can result in the misalignment of joints. In these situations, without better joint technology, these joints will always leak. All of these problems collectively lead to preventable issues resulting in higher costs due to manhole replacement, increased maintenance needs of the manholes, and then on the treatment plant end, we're required to have larger equipment that's going to need to be replaced sooner, and higher costs just to process and treat clean water that's entered through infiltration. Many of these issues exist due to a lack of engineering, which has ultimately led to the development of the PMA system. With the PMA system, PREDL's in-house team of engineers are engineering the underground. Many ask why this is important, and the answer is simple. Currently, the number of manholes requiring rehabilitation and frequent maintenance in the US is quite high, in the range of 80%. And many of those manholes are less than 20 years old. In the 21st century, we should be capable of designing manholes that are meant to last 50 years, if not longer. So often, I also hear concerns about the cost and people believing that there's no way a system like ours could be competitive or affordable. I'll be the first to say we may not have the cheapest product, but we're okay with that. We offer, however, competitive pricing, and when you consider the manhole in total, it's the pricing is good. Kind of lost my words there, sorry. With this system, we can offer a design that's made to last over 80 years. So you should think about this. You put a manhole in the ground, and let's say it was new 10 years ago, but you've since had to rehab it twice with spray coatings. I can assure you that manhole has far exceeded the cost of what a manhole lined with our PMA manhole system would have cost. And again, you have to factor in the other things. With PMA, you're avoiding infiltration, thus you're avoiding the increased costs on the treatment plant end of things. So PMA can be used as a replacement manhole liner, as well as new construction. Before designing a liner for replacement or rehab, we begin by digitizing the existing manhole via a 3D laser scan. We can see how much of the existing structure remains, as well as cracks in the structure, which could potentially impede the stability. From the scans, we produce drawings and 3D models of the existing structure, which we then provide to the customers and/or engineers. This allows all to make an informed decision as to the safety and appropriateness of rehabbing versus replacing a structure. If all are in agreement that it is time to dig and replace, our engineered drawings are used to create the exact manhole needed to be able to reconnect to the existing connections. Our team will work with the precaster and or customer to ensure the liner meets all standards and can be cast without complication. This is not a one-size-fits-all approach. This is a thoughtful, engineered, and long-lasting solution. And the images you're seeing right now are those of projects that we've completed, scans we've completed, and the type of images that we generate through this process. Often I hear engineers advocating for spray liners, justifying it in a new manhole, saying that because it's low flow, the epoxy will be fine. This could be true in the current situation, but one thing we should always try to keep in mind is future development and the potential for other changes, which may create a more corrosive or turbulent environment. With a subpar liner, you run the risk that a manhole will require replacement or rehab sooner than you'd like to see it done. To avoid this risk, the manhole should be properly protected from the highly corrosive environment within our sewer systems. The PMA manhole system is a supreme liner system, as well as a solution for new manholes. When we use this system for new manholes, we're designing and building the liners to the specific needs of each structure. In this situation, we'll use the precaster shop drawings to design the liner elements. There are no adjustments to or assembly of parts required by the precaster or contractor once they've received our liner. PREDL will work with the precasters and contractors on the installation and handling of the PMA elements. In most cases, our liners work with the precaster's current forms, and if for any reason they will not, again, we utilize the skills of our in-house engineers to help develop the best way to make modification recommendations. Once the liners have been cast, the final assembly is no more than wiping clean the spigot and gasketed joint, applying a pipe lubricant, and then nesting each piece one at a time. Let's go ahead and review some of the overall key features and benefits of the PMA system. The PMA manhole system offers excellent corrosion protection in sanitary sewers. The materials are rated to last 80+ years. Again, this is even in a highly turbulent and heavily used manhole. The smooth and consistent hydraulics of the cast-in base liner ensure best hydraulics, drastically reducing the maintenance needs of that manhole. Joint lining prevents infiltration and exfiltration, making it a great option for high water environments. Furthermore, the joint lining also ensures a gas-tight seal, offering the utmost protection of the underlying concrete. With this system, we've eliminated the need for field welding, which decreases the amount of time a manhole must sit and wait to be completed, inspected, approved, and finally billed for. We've also eliminated the need for on-site contractors to have to deal with butyl or getting gaskets set. The PMA manhole system conforms to ASTM standards C478 as well as C443. Now we're going to go ahead and break down the various elements that make up the PMA manhole system. We'll start by discussing the PMA joint, which is really the star of this liner system. In this picture, you can see precisely how the gasket is integrated into the female joint, and then how the female joint and the spigot come together to form that gas-tight, watertight seal. During the patented protected manufacturing process, the EPDM gasket is embedded into the female joint. The gasket is responsible for providing the gas-tight, watertight seal, while also maintaining a flexible connection. The flexible connection is extremely important because without it, we risk damaging the existing liner as well as leaking at the joints if the manhole's ever subjected to future ground movement. Cap strips are not a flexible connection, and while butyl does provide some flexibility, it has the potential of not providing a watertight seal due to multiple factors. The gasket also functions as a load transfer ring, which evenly distributes the load from the top of the manhole down to the ground. This reduces the incidence of manholes cracking under load. Additionally, we have steel reinforcement rings throughout both the male and the female joint. We connect the joints to the polypropylene liner by extrusion welding the liner to a weld strip, which is also integrated into that joint system. The joints are connected to all elements of the manhole system. One important point I want to make on the precaster end of things is that we highly recommend only self-compacting concrete be used for casting these elements. It's important that all voids can be filled when casting the liners without the use of vibrators in the process. So we utilize CorrProtect to line the riser section of the PMA manhole. This liner is cut in-house via our CNC router to ensure that we have precise cuts, allowing the risers to be the exact diameter required. This is essential to work with the PMA joint system. CorrProtect is made of polypropylene, which boasts flexibility and stability in a wider variety of temperatures. The liner itself is 3 millimeters thick, with anchors that are 16 millimeters in height and spaced at 38 per square foot. All of this means we have a great pull-off strength of well over 2,000 newtons, and that's double that of comparable polyethylene liners. And again, chemical resistance of this liner is superior for sewer systems, as is every component of this PMA system. Here, you're seeing how we utilize advanced technology to cut and weld the CorrProtect riser sections. The CNC router is able to go in and shave off any of the anchors that are not needed for where we do the joint connection. They're going to cut exact holes for any incoming pipes we may have. And then our butt welder is going to handle the vertical welds, so we have a superior bond at that joint. It's extremely important that these extrusion welds on the inside of the riser, where we're joining the joint and riser together, are consistent and low profile. We don't want to reduce the inside diameter of that riser at all. To do this, PREDL's designed a jig that we use exclusively in-house, and this is to assist with the extrusion welding process. I share this fact, or this tidbit really, because I think that these minute details really highlight how important each and every detail design of this system is. Our PMA manhole risers are available in 48 and 60-inch diameter. Each riser comes with a male and female joint. We can build these to whatever height is required or requested. Our PMA elements fit with the precaster's current forms without difficulty. Risers are cast with the spigot down so the SCC can get between the riser and the joint. And again, if there were any issues with the fit not being just right, we're going to assist with that process and utilize our in-house engineers if necessary to help. But in most cases, it works perfect. PREDL's baseliners are vacuum molded out of corrosion-resistant polypropylene in most cases, and also produced out of our hybrid FRP when a non-standard baseliner is required. Either way, you're going to get a base with precise and smooth inverts, and this negates the need for hand benching as well as the inconsistencies that might come with that. Furthermore, our baseliners are all outfit with bell connectors and the appropriate EPDM gasket to match the pipe connections. The bells serve as an easy way to securely connect incoming pipes while maintaining that all-important flexible connection. As you can see, we're capable of really creating not just the basic bells, but custom bells, as well as custom channel configurations. Back of the baseliner is covered in aggregate as well as bonding bridges. And this is going to help ensure a secure bond between the concrete and the liner. The inside of the liner offers anti-slip protection in the event someone must enter the manhole. These baseliners are customizable to meet the need of any project. We stock a large variety of the most common configurations. Each baseliner comes with a standard 3-inch skirt. However, we can extend that to whatever size is required or preferred by the precaster. Any baseliner with a non-standard slope or a diameter greater than 48 inches would be produced out of our hybrid FRP. Here we have a few more examples of some custom baseliners. In the one in the middle in particular, showing you how our baseliner sits on the precaster's form and how that pallet supports the joint. The one thing you don't see in that picture is the support dome that we do provide to any new customers casting their bases. That sits on top of the inner core, and that is what helps to support the benching when the liner is being cast. Each of the PMA manholes is complete with a cone or a flat top. As far as the cones, we offer a one-piece rotomolded cone that has an adjustable collar as well as a gasket. We also offer custom cone and flat tops, many of which can be built to size via the CNC router. All cones are fit with a female PMA joint, and this final piece added to the manhole ensures that you now have a fully lined, gas-tight, watertight manhole system. And from the pictures, we've got examples of both FRP cone and flat tops, as well as a custom polypropylene flat top. Here we have a few more images of our cones being cast in the precast facility, utilizing their standard forms. I'd like to take a few minutes now to review a case study of a replacement manhole using the PMA system. Recently in Jacksonville, Florida, it was decided that a manhole was degraded beyond repair. This structure was in a high groundwater environment and plagued by significant corrosion, infiltration, exfiltration, and required frequent maintenance. Additionally, and you can see in these images, due to the presence of multiple drop connections it was necessary that a precisely built liner system could be produced. We began by scanning the existing manhole, and we developed engineered drawings of what we recommended building as the replacement. Once those drawings were approved by JEA, we worked with American Precast to ensure that they could cast the pieces as drawn. With the PO in hand, we prepared the liners and shipped those directly to the precaster. Once all parts were cast and on site, we met with the construction crew to assist and provide guidance on installation of the manhole elements. We did so because this was a new contractor to working with us and the PMA manhole system. Quickly recognized the ease of on-site installation. They only had to wipe the joints clean, apply a layer of pipe lubricant, and then nest the pieces together. They did not need to bother with butyl, trying to align joints, or getting loose gaskets in place, nor were they required to wait for anyone to show up to field weld the joints. Once all elements were stacked and the various incoming pipes connected, JEA was left with a corrosion-resistant and practically maintenance-free manhole ready to last for many decades to come. Now we're going to show you a brief video that highlights this manhole from the production end to the installation end. Well, so much for joining us today to learn about PREDL's PMA manhole lining system.